For decades, we've looked at Mars as this planetary ghost town, just a world of red dust and, well, silence. But what if a ghost wasn't gone at all? What if it was just hiding? We're about to go on a hunt for the ghost of an entire ocean, and with it, maybe the single most valuable resource in the solar system, buried miles beneath the Martian desert. So yeah, this is the big one. This is the mystery that has basically haunted planetary scientists for generations. We have all this overwhelming evidence that billions of years ago, Mars was a blue world, warm, wet. So the billion-dollar question has always been, where did all that water go? I mean, just look at this. It's night and day. On the left, you've got the Mars of the past, a world with rivers, lakes, and maybe even this vast ocean shimmering under a thicker atmosphere. And on the right, that's the Mars we know today. Cold, dry, and as far as we know, lifeless. The change is just staggering, and figuring out how it happened, that's one of the greatest detective stories in science. Right, so to solve this puzzle, first we got to understand the crime scene. The evidence for Mars's watery past isn't just some theory, okay? It is literally written all over the planet's surface. Our rovers and orbiters have sent back undeniable proof. You can see these dried-up riverbeds, massive deltas where rivers must have emptied into bigger bodies of water. We've even found mineral deposits that could only have formed if liquid water was there. The whole landscape is basically a fossil, preserving the memory of a much, much more vibrant world. So with all this evidence piling up, the hunt for this ghost ocean really began. And scientists, as they tried to map its ancient shores from orbit, even gave it a name. Meet Oceanus Borealis, or the Northern Ocean. The theory goes that this massive body of water filled the huge low-lying basin of the Northern Hemisphere. And we're not talking about a small sea here. This was an ocean that could have covered a huge chunk of the planet. And this hunt has been going on for a long time. It really kicked off back in the 70s with the Viking orbiters spotting what looked like old coastlines. The idea was officially proposed in the late 80s. By 1999, we had these super detailed maps showing a perfect basin where an ocean could have been. And even more recently, scientists found evidence of mega tsunamis, which, let's be real, can only happen if a giant asteroid hits a giant body of water. But here's the thing. All of that evidence, it was on the surface. The real breakthrough, the discovery that changed everything, came from a totally different angle. It involved probing deep beneath the ground in a way we had never, ever done before. And that's it, right there. That was the key. All those years of looking with cameras and lasers, we were missing the biggest clue. The answer was waiting for us to just listen. To listen to the planet's heartbeat, these faint rumbles traveling right through its crust. And this is the hero of our story. NASA's InSight lander. It touched down in 2018, and it wasn't there to take pretty pictures. It was there to place an incredibly sensitive seismometer on the ground. Its entire mission was to listen for Marsquakes and meteorite strikes, and before its mission ended, it recorded over 1,300 of these seismic events. Okay, so think of this like a planetary ultrasound. When a Marsquake happens, or a meteorite hits, it sends these seismic waves rippling through the planet. And just like sound waves travel differently through air than they do through water, these seismic waves change speed depending on what they pass through. They move really fast through solid rock, but they slow down a lot if they hit something else, something like, say, liquid. So for years, scientists analyzed the echoes from all these tiny vibrations, piecing together a map of the Martian interior. And what they found? Well, it was absolutely stunning. In this one specific layer, deep, deep underground, the waves kept hitting a kind of seismic speed bump. They slowed way, way down. And this wasn't some tiny variation. It was a clear, unmistakable signal that they were no longer traveling through solid, dry rock. This weird anomaly points to one incredible conclusion: a huge layer of fractured rock, just completely saturated with liquid water. So no, it's not an open ocean like we have on Earth. It's more like a giant aquifer, a planetary-sized sponge, just holding an immense amount of water in all its nooks and crannies. And man, is it deep. The data suggests this waterlogged layer is somewhere between 7 and 13 miles below the Martian's surface. That's about 11 to 20 kilometers down. That is an incredible depth to even wrap your head around. But it's the sheer volume of water that's just mind-boggling. Scientists figure there's enough water trapped down there to cover the entire surface of Mars in an ocean about a mile deep. This is it. This might be where the missing water went. It didn't all just escape to space. A huge chunk of it seeped down and got locked away in the crust. Of course, the moment you say liquid water, the very next question is always about life, right? And as one of the study's authors, Michael Manga, put it, while we haven't found life, we've now found a place where it could, in theory, exist. Here on Earth, deep mines and ocean floors, far from sunlight, are teeming with microbial life. So why not Mars? This discovery opens up such a thrilling new chapter in our search for extraterrestrial life, but it also presents us with one of the biggest engineering challenges you can possibly imagine. Okay, to put this in perspective, the deepest hole humanity has ever drilled on our own planet, the Kola Super Deep Borehole in Russia, is about 7.6 miles deep, and that took decades of work with all of Earth's infrastructure behind it. The Martian water deposit starts at about that same depth. Reaching it isn't just hard, it's a monumental task. Naturally, the internet had some thoughts. The moment the news broke, the jokes just started pouring in. And one of the most popular reactions on Reddit was simply this: Nestle enters the chat. Which, perfectly captures our modern anxieties about who gets to own what, right? Another user took it a step further, joking that our best bet was to get a certain chocolate company to pivot into space exploration and deep core drilling. And it's funny, but it really highlights how the super far-off discovery immediately connects to our very earthly concerns. And that really is the heart of it, isn't it? We may have just found a potential cradle for life, this hidden habitat that's been preserved for billions of years, but it is locked away in a geological vault, miles underground, on another planet. It feels so close, and yet it's so impossibly far away. So we end with this question. We've solved one of Mars's greatest mysteries, only to be faced with an even greater challenge. The discovery itself is a testament to human ingenuity, but reaching it is going to require a leap we haven't even figured out how to make yet. So if there are alien microbes swimming around in that deep, dark water, will we ever be able to say hello?